What's up YouTube? I'm back in the still standing garage, and in this video I'm gonna get started on the final sanding on the Monte right before color. So right now the Monte has been sitting for about a week or two since I last sprayed it with primer. If you missed that video, I'm gonna link that video in the description of this video, so you guys go check that out. But it's been sitting for a week or two, and I already sprayed some guide coat. It's ready to go. I removed all the masking tape except for the windshield in the back window, because I am planning on spraying more guide coat right after I finish with the first grit of sandpaper. I did remove all the tape that I had put on the edges, so that way I could get into those edges, or not into those edges, but block all the way up to the edges and get that nice and sanded. So I'm gonna get started on the roof here. I'm already sweating in here because it's really hot. It's 93 degrees in here, so I'm gonna open up the garage and hopefully that helps. I'm going to start with 320 grit sandpaper on a 16-inch block. I'm gonna block until the guide coat is completely removed, and then I'm gonna move on. Let's go. Alright YouTube, so the hardtop's completely down to 320 grit. So is the fender, as you guys saw. I finished that off. I do want to show you on this fender how I'm going to do the whole car. That way I could finish off this video, make it a pretty quick video, and show you how I'm going to finish sanding the whole car. So let me add some guide coat on this real quick. And there it is, the guide coat is on. It's already dry, it's ready to be sanded again. But what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna hit the edges here, and I'm gonna hit them with this 400 grit. It's a flexible abrasive sheet. Let me put it down. I already put some on the pad. Let go. So there it is, it's right here. The pad's in there, it's really flexible. This is something that Head Out All Day sent me. He has a body shop out there in Ventura County. Really appreciate you sending me these and talking to me on the phone and giving me tips. I really appreciate that. Appreciate you taking the time to do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and hit all these edges pretty much like that. Kind of go on there, try not to go down to metal, go down to the actual painted area, kind of like that. Go all the, hopefully this is focusing. Focus. So I'm gonna go in there like this, kind of go a little bit flatter up here. So I'm gonna do that to all these edges here, even down here. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna open up the door here, and I'm gonna hit all that edge in there, all up in there. So let me do that real quick, and then I'll bring you guys back on the next step. Let's go. All right, so all the edges are completely sanded down with that 400 grit. You could kind of see where I took off some of that guide coat as I went a little bit into the panel, but all in there, it's real nice and smooth. I could feel it. I was sanding, and then I was filling to make sure that I did cover everything. I did have to open the door to get into that edge, but all the edges around this fender are ready to go. Now it's time to start hitting the whole panel here. So what I'm gonna use is gonna be a DA with the interface pad, 400 grit, and this DA actually has a 332nd orbit. You can see it right there, and this is made for fine sanding, which is what I'm doing right now, which is the 400. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna sand it. I am sanding all the way till the guide coat is completely removed. So let me throw on my mask and get that going. Let's go. Alright YouTube, so there it is. It's all down to 400 grit. I did leave all those clips in real time so that way you guys can see how I'm moving around with the DA. I try not to stay in one spot for too long. I was letting the sandpaper do the work as well. I wasn't putting too much pressure on the DA because I don't want to create any waves. But it's ready to go. The bottom right here, I hit that side. I didn't hit this side over here yet. I have to do that. I am thinking of hitting that by hand because I can't get the DA right there. So it's all good. I did hit the top as you guys saw too, so that one's ready to go. So pretty much right here is ready for paint. This is where I'm gonna leave it at to spray some of that base. Well, I'm gonna spray sealer, base, and clear. I originally was planning on hitting it with 600 wet after 400, but I changed my mind after talking to a lot of people. I was told that with 400 on a DA, since I am using a sealer, will be enough to get a real nice smooth paint job. But what I am gonna do right now, since this was my first time finishing off with 400 grit on a DA, is I am gonna wet check it just to make sure that I didn't create any waves, especially right here in the radius, because I was going in there real soft. Like I said, I wasn't putting too much pressure there, but I want to check to make sure that I didn't create any waves, because the last thing that I want is getting the whole car in this stage here and then spraying that shininess, the clear, and then seeing all those waves under. That's gonna suck. So let me spray some wax and grease remover, because that's what I'm gonna use to wet check it. I still haven't bought the like 90 quick check, which is what I normally use to wet check, but wax and grease remover is okay. So I'm gonna do that right now. Let me spray real quick. We'll check it out together, see if I created any waves. Let's go. Let's check it out. I don't see any waves. You can see the radius obviously of the fender. That's how it rolls, but I don't see any waves at all. Let me go nice and slow right here. What I was worried about is right there where that radius is at. So let me look at it from this side. It's looking pretty good. It's giving me that confidence to keep it moving with that 400 DA on the interface pad. So look at that. Look how smooth. You can see the 13s on the Regal over there. So it's looking pretty good. I'm ready to go. Ready to keep it moving. All right, hold on. Let me wipe this off. All right, I already wiped it off. So it's ready to go. So like I said, I'm gonna keep moving on. I'm gonna do the whole car like this. So bear with me when I upload the next video for the Monte. I am doing something on the Regal. I gotta work on the brakes on that one. So that one's gonna come out next, the next video. But then, like I said, the video on the Monte, it's gonna take me a while because I do need to sand the whole car the same way that I did this. So let me recap of what I did. So guide coat, I blocked that out with 320, and then I threw on another guide coat. Then I went ahead and I hit the edges, all the edges with 400 grit on a flexible pad. And then I went ahead and I used a DA with 400 grit on an interface pad. And that's where it's at right now. And that's how I'm gonna leave it. Thank you for watching. Let's go.